Hello, everyone. Alejandro Ventura here. And for our July market update, I've asked Rob Higgins, who is the Executive Vice President of our local Spokane Association of Realtors, to join us and share his thoughts about about the condition of our local housing market and where we might go from here. So, Rob, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Alejandro. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, Rob, let's get right into it. By now, it is safe to assume that just about everyone knows that we are in an unprecedented seller's market, with properties selling within days and most of them selling with offers way above asking price. Just as of the end of May, which is the latest data available, the average sales price was up 32%. The median sales price was up 30%. The inventory level remained just under 2 weeks. So based on those numbers, many potential buyers and sellers are wondering if our local housing market is overheating, and if so, if we should expect a price correction sometime soon. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yes, it is unprecedented, Alejandro. I've been watching this market or studying the market for better part of 30 plus years, and we haven't seen anything like this. Our inventory is at all-time lows, and the activity demand is very strong. So when your supply is low and your demand is high, you see situations like what we're experiencing here. I want to inform your viewers that what's going on in Spokane, although unprecedented for those of us here, this is going on all over the country. We have had a lack of new housing construction going on for about 12 years, and we've fallen way behind on our supply of housing. And just to give you an example, on a national basis, the median sales price in May was up 24%. And in the Western United States, the median sales price was up also 24%. So we're slightly higher than that, but we, quite frankly, on a national basis and in the Western United States, we were generally behind what the national numbers were. So we're seeing a significant increase in prices. Demand is strong. I anticipate in the future, or the next 6 months, we're going to see our inventory pick up and our prices moderate some. I don't believe we're going to see a downturn in the pricing, but I think we're going to see a moderation and not see these double-digit increases.
For those people who are concerned that we might be in the midst of a housing bubble, similar to what happened back in 2008, 9, 10.
Right.
What do you say to them?
I say we've adjusted from them. 2008, 9, and 10 was really a mortgage crisis or lending crisis. Today, with the changes that have been brought about from that experience, people are in very good shape who are buying a house, and equity is up for the rest of the people who own a house. So the housing market should be very stable. So I don't anticipate a downturn like we experienced then. Like I said, I've been tracking this information for over 30 years in Spokane. And what we had in 8, 9, 10 was unique. That was our Great Recession instead of a Great Depression that they had in the 30s. That's how I look at it. That was our Great Recession. So I think prices will moderate. Activity may moderate some. We actually may see next year or later this year housing sales dip a little, but that will be brought about because of a lack of inventory and perhaps an increase in mortgage rates. But overall, the housing market, if you own a home, you're very fortunate If you're going to sell a home, it's at all-time highs. If you're trying to buy a home, make sure that you have your credit in good shape and that you have gone to your lender and are working with a realtor to help you find that home.
Some buyers right now are contemplating the option to just sit on the sidelines with the hope that prices will come down significantly in the next 6, 12, 18 months. But based on your answer, it looks like even though we might see some moderation, like you said, on pricing, we should not expect a price decline like we saw back in 2008. Just because what caused that was problems with the fundamentals of lending versus today's reason for being in the seller's market we're in is primarily an imbalance between supply and demand. Is that fair to say?
Right. And, I don't know how many times I've kicked myself over these 30 plus years. Oh, I wish I would have bought something then. Real estate is a long-term investment, and over the long term, it's going to be good. There may be times when there's adjustments or downturns or whatever, but if you're in the real estate, buying a house, a home, you're buying it for the long term, generally speaking. So even though the prices are at all-time high, I don't think you're going to see them come down. I think they may level off. But if you can qualify for a home, my advice is get in there because you're losing out on this equity that's being built up. And you won't regret it. 5 years from now, you'll turn around and say, boy, I'm glad I did this.
Exactly. Not only that, but also the historically low interest rates.
Right. Yeah. I think I told you before, I been in long enough. I would have bet my life we'd never see interest rates below 10%. And here, I think they're right around 3 right now. So, unprecedented. Great opportunity if you can afford to buy a house. Yes.
It is unbelievable. Now, one of the reasons that we attribute the current state of our market here in Spokane in terms of rising prices, the obvious one is the low inventory. The next one after that is, of course, the low interest rates, which is continuing to create demand. Right. Outside of that, it looks like we have a lot of incomers from bigger markets who are cashing out their equities in those markets. And with that being King County, Oregon, California, and then migrating to our city and pretty much finding bargains here. So what are your thoughts on that? Is there any?
Well, you're absolutely correct. We're having a lot of people looking at Spokane and actually moving to Spokane. So let's say I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I say, or let's say it's Seattle, and the median sales price, let's say it's $600,000 to $700,000, basically, significantly higher than us. In the Western United States, the 11 Western states, the median sales price for May was $505,600. So when they look at Spokane and see a median sales price for May of $375,000, they say, hey, maybe we need to check out Spokane. That sounds like a good mid-sized city. And they come here and they go, wow, this is unbelievable. Let's go buy a house. So that's happening. There's no doubt about it.
Great. Well, to recap, we are in a stable real estate market based on some of the key metrics that we just went over. We should not expect a bubble burst at all. What we should expect is a market correction at some point. And with that in mind, do you have a time frame? I don't know, you don't have a crystal ball, obviously, but do you anticipate a market correction in the next, say, 18 months or so?
Yeah, I would think so. Next year, I think we're going to see the numbers moderate some. Again, I don't think we'll see big drops. I think it'll just moderate. The appreciation or the increases will be moderating. So much of that is driven by interest rates. So we'll be watching that closely over the next 6 months.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Rob, thank you so much for taking the time today. Before we end this interview, is there anything else you'd like to add to the information we're sharing today?
I don't think there's anything else to add right now. I just want to compliment you on keeping on top of the market. That's a very important thing to do for your clients.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you again for being with us today. For those of you who have any questions based on the content that we covered today, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day.